If you're in conflict with yourself, the chances are you'll be in conflict with others in your life.
You want the kid to either see you single or in a healthy relationship. You don't want to teach your child that it's okay to be in a toxic or a bad relationship.
Well, the society today is obsessed with being comfortable. And you can only truly be comfortable if you have discomfort.
Fear is such a driver in people's lives. I think that people don't realize how much fear drives people. What if they're lazy? What if they don't want to work? What if laziness has been bred since they were kids? You don't want to teach someone who's your child that it's okay to be in a toxic or abusive, bad relationship. You want them to see good relationships, because then they'll have good relationships.
Yeah, hopefully. But, in an ideal world, sure, but then you get narcissistic parents who see their reality as the perfect reality when it's just so toxic. They want that to their kids.
Yeah, and then you have the opposite. You have the parents who are making bad decisions. They are bringing partners home who are not people that they should be bringing home and exposing to their kids. And the kids are now possibly deprecating their value and thinking that they don't deserve someone who's better than that. My mom didn't. My dad didn't. Whatever.
You fall back on your models.
You fall back on your experiences. You are only the culmination of your life experiences. You can extrapolate from that, but ultimately that's what drives your norm. That's what drives what you consider to be the reality that you live in and that you are going to pursue, right? So if that's what you were taught to pursue because that's what your parents pursued, then you're going to pursue the same. If your parents pursued people that, partners who were better, whatever that means to you, then your kids are going to pursue better partners in life as well. Hopefully, possibly, not necessarily, but at least they were given the example by someone that they respect. Again, hopefully.
Do you believe that people bring into their relationships, their intimate relationships, what they were taught by their parents, what they observed from their parents, like in your intimate relationship or another, like my relationship, whatever it is? Do you see it like you're bringing in from what your parents were, the dynamic you bring into current relationships?
In the form of, you mean manifesting itself intimately or in just the day-to-day relationship?
Your intimate relationship. Are you imitating what your parents modeled somehow? Like your relationship with your mom? Are you working out with your wife? Or the relationship that your parents
definitely influenced me. Yes, it definitely influences me 100%. And it's like my parents got divorced after 30 years of marriage. And honestly, I don't think it was the model marriage that I would want to model my life after. I mean, I'm divorced as well. And my first marriage was also not something that I would necessarily want to model. I wouldn't want my kid to have a marriage like that, for very different reasons. And so while I think that those things that my parents' relationship influenced me a lot, as an adult, I knew better. I knew that it was bad. I knew that it wasn't ideal. I knew that it wasn't something that I wanted to emulate, but in some ways it was hard not to. It was just hard not to. And sometimes it was subconscious. I'm not even trying. And this is how I'm acting. And it's almost like I'm, saying, oh, it's not my fault. Like I was taught this. It is my fault. I'm an adult. I can make choices. But I was, obviously heavily influenced by what I saw at home. And I mean, I had a great home life. I had a great childhood.
What about what you saw at school with teachers? How does that translate into your relationship with authority?
Okay. So my teachers did not play as much into how I see authority. I was good in school. I got good grades. Teachers liked me. I participated in class. I had a thirst for learning, and school for me was a very positive experience. Now, the administrators of those schools sometimes did not like me as much because sometimes I didn't abide by the rules of the school outside of the classroom. Okay. So academically and from a place of authority, my teachers I respected and they respected me. And it was a great relationship. The administrators who were obviously, trying to keep the kids, keeping the rules of the school, I did not take it seriously. I didn't. I felt that it's a school. You're not the ruler of my life and I'm going to do what I want. to the extent that like I'm allowed by my parents, which conflicted with my school. My parents were much more lenient than my school was. And my parents were very straight up to me and said, you chose to go to this school. If you get in trouble and break their rules, even if it's not our rules, we don't have your back. Like, this is your choice. You're doing this. So, you know, like.
So your parents gave you that choice?
They gave me the freedom. They gave me enough rope to hang myself. And a couple of times I did. Mm-hmm. Definitely. But for the most part, I was a pretty good, well-behaved kid. Very within.
It's not like your parents allowed you to just discover yourself and be yourself.
They really did. They gave me a lot of freedom at a young age. They got me out. They got me at sleepaway camp at like 6, 7 years old every summer. You know, I was always, you know, traveling. They really did push a lot of independence. And, you know, the one thing I can remember my mother saying like almost every day of my childhood is that you can do anything you want in life. Anything you put your mind to, you can do. You want to be the president? You can do it. You want to go to space? You can do it. You can do whatever you set your mind to and are willing to work hard enough and smart enough to get. She told us that literally every day. She also told us that life's not fair every day. When we would get into fights and I would come to her, oh, my brother did this. It's not fair. And she'd be like, that's okay. Life's not fair. Life's not fair. It's one of the best lessons that she taught me because then in life, I didn't expect fairness. I actually expect it to be unfair, which gives me motivation to try and do things in my life to prevent, you know, to limit my exposure to the unfair, right? So I think it's such a good lesson. And I think parents, again, you know, I'm 45 years old and I can remember that like it was yesterday, literally. So, I mean, people don't realize how impactful parents are to their kids. It's impactful. You know, teach your kids good lessons, be a good example to your kids. And it sucks because some parents are like, oh, well, I want to live my life. And, you know, I can't always be a good example. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're going to teach your kids bad things and expose them to it, you're a bad parent. Straight up. You're a crappy parent. Yeah. Parenting. I mean, that's another, I mean, the parent-child relationship is such a complex, dynamic relationship, and I think varies so much culturally and individually. I couldn't, and I see that, and I look at my parents, and I was like, how is that possible? How is a kid having a physical fight with his father? How would a father have a physical fight with his kid in public? I was like, this is crazy. And my parents said, they were like straight up, they were like, yeah, some people have those kinds of relationships with their parents.
Is that family culture?
You know, like fortunately we are not like that. You have respect for your father. You don't hit your parents.
Right.
But some people don't have that. Some people didn't learn that. Or some people, maybe the parents are so bad that they deserve it. Who knows?
Well, certainly.
I don't know the story, right?
Many parents don't deserve the respect.
Many parents don't deserve respect. I think that people think that being a blood relative comes with intrinsic respect. And I think that people need to learn that respect needs to be earned no matter what. No matter what. It doesn't mean be a complacent parent. It means be an involved parent. Be there, do things.
It must be earned. It's interesting because the Bible doesn't say that. It just says respect them. Period. Like one of the 10, you know. Period.
But then when you define what that respect actually means, it's very foundational and fundamental. It's not this crazy level of respect. It's like, you don't harm your parents in a physical way. Don't there's criteria that, at least, I mean, you see in the books and the commentaries, that it's, you know, you can fulfill being, you know, respecting your parents by doing just very basic fundamental things. Not, you know,
it could be respecting them, not engaging with them since they're so destructive.
Correct.
Right? Correct. Doesn't mean to be engaging.
Doesn't mean be engaging. It means be respectful.
Respect.
Be respectful. And I agree with that. Your parents brought you into this world. At the end of the day, even if they were crappy, They're people. Maybe they did their best.
Yeah.
Maybe they struggle with their own issues. Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was them. Maybe they were going through something really hard at that time and you were just there while they were going through it.
By extension, if you practice that golden, one of those universal rules, right, to respect your parents, if you practice that, then the chances are you'll respect human beings in general.
And I think that it goes both ways. I think when parents respect their kids, it shows the kids that you respect someone no matter what.
Yes.
Even though you may be in a place of authority over someone else. Maybe you're richer than them. Maybe you're better looking than them. Maybe you're more popular than them. Maybe however you measure whatever, right? You still have to treat that person with respect because they're a person.
I think there's great rewards to treating people with respect.
Well, and I think that is, and I think that is also one of the most impactful pieces of a successful relationship that people don't always keep in mind. You need to respect your partner.
Are you talking to someone that you respect? Does that sound like respect? Once you raise your voice and start cursing your partner, you're not respecting.
Are you being respected? Is your partner treating you with respect? Are you respecting them? Right? And all that means. And it's such a driver. And I think what happens is that people will meet someone and they'll fall in love. And then suddenly when they get to know them better, start to live with each other, start to kind of get under each other's skin, they realize based on reactions that, ooh, that level of respect is just not there. That person does not respect me. If they're okay doing this to me, right? Now it depends on what the person, what they're reacting to, obviously.
It behooves people.
Yeah.
It behooves people to talk to their close ones, to their family, to their parents, to their lovers, in a way they talk to the police, in a way they talk to a judge, in a way they talk to the president.
Respect.
And it's almost healthy fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
of losing something that you really, really value.
Yeah. I mean, my mother will tell me stories about, when she was a little girl and she was around the adults, you speak when spoken to. This is not your place to intervene on the adult conversation, right? And it really was much more formal. And I think over the years, there are some people that still do that over the years. I think that we've mellowed a little bit and we've been like, okay, kids are formidable. Kids can learn fast. Kids are smart.
Mm-hmm. They're absorbing everything. They're not filtering anything.
I mean, at one point, I don't know how old he is now, but one of the biggest AI developers at Google was a 12-year-old boy making a lot of money.
Incredible.
These kids can do stuff. Don't discount kids. When I was younger, my mentors were always older than me. For the past close to 10 years, all my mentors have been younger than me. I want to know where we're going. I kind of know where we came from at this point, and I think I've gleaned what I can out of the...
You respected your mentors, right?
A lot. My mentors were...
And that is also huge. Who are your role models? If you don't have one, pick one.
Yeah.
That's the 100%. One in front of you that you can imitate.
And make sure that person who you choose is worthy of you, of the things that you're looking for in your life. Is that person respectable enough? Are they smart enough? Are they experienced enough? Are they well-rounded and balanced enough to be someone that you truly should want to emulate in whatever way? I think that a lot of people choose mentors nowadays who are not worthy of mentorship, of being your mentor. They are not good people. Maybe celebrities, these are people that are, being one thing doesn't always translate into being another. Whatever you're getting famous for doesn't make you a role model expert on certain things, whatever the case may be. And I think a lot of people feel that when they have a big audience, a platform with a big audience, that they want to try and, push whatever their agenda is. And it's like, are you really an expert in that thing? Not that you need to be. I mean, anyone can push any agenda, but your platform is huge. And with great power comes great responsibility. When you can influence the masses, you need to respect that. That can be incredibly damaging to society.
Well, you've been given, it's a God-given thing, fame, stardom to that level. What are you doing with it? See, that's where your choice comes in. Comes right there.
And I think where society is right now, the choices that they're making oftentimes are being driven by our current social culture and probably a bunch of other powerful entities that are driving whatever message they want society to drive towards for their personal benefit. I think that there's a lot of that sort of corruption in terms of the people that are influencing society today.
The thought occurred to me, and I sort of tied to what you began with, is that we were talking about comfort zones.
Yeah.
So it's, again, important to identify what you're not comfortable with. And then have a role model. Choose a role model that either overcame that discomfort or that helps you overcome that discomfort. And why would that behoove you? Because you want to attain your goals.
Yeah. 100%. Everyone, in my opinion, everyone should have a therapist.
They say you should have friends who are a little bit more forward than you are, more a little bit back, more a little bit progressive.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's kind of like hockey. I always want to be playing hockey with players who are better than me so I can up my game. If in life, I want to be challenged. I don't want to, once I've overcome it and I've learned something and I'm good at it and I've mastered it and whatever, it's like, what's next? I don't want to be lingering in what I just accomplished. I want to be overcoming the next great thing.
The saddest thing is couch potatoes. People who just sit there and do nothing with their lives. And they say, oh, I'm fine. But they're not. You can't be fine. If you're a human being, you're supposed to actualize everything about yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself, relationships, occupation. You're supposed to do something, create something. And, you're supposed to collaborate with one another. We can't do it by ourselves. We need teams. There's no I in team.
No, I agree to an extent. I think that the true couch potato is sad and is a product of modern day.
It's a learned helplessness reaction.
It's a learned
failure. It's like it's overwhelming. I can't do anything. It's frozen response, right? You're just frozen.
But do they really think that they can't, or they really know deep down that they just don't want to?
How can you not want to? There must be a reason why you don't want to.
It's
you
hard.
probably believe that you can't.
Because it's hard.
Because it's hard. And you have this overwhelming...
It's hard. It's work.
resistance.
It's effort. You're going to have to commit to doing something regularly that you may not enjoy doing.
I mean, one of the cures for depression is get out of bed and take a shower, put on some nice clothes and get out.
Right.
You
But-
know?
Well, and because that helps you make you feel better about yourself and love you and
Do
love
need
yourself.
Something to help you, chemical to help you get out and do stuff. Can't you find it in yourself? Can't you force it in yourself? Can't you just get out of bed, take a shower, put on some great smelling scent?
Do you think that people maybe have a feeling of absolute despair and hopelessness? They've given up. They feel that these things, while I feel that perhaps I might be able to attain it, is it really worth the effort? Because I'm taking a risk. I may not be able to attain it. And it's so much work. It's so much effort. It's so much investment. It's so much whatever. And they just literally give up and succumb to their fear of doing something that is so outside of their comfort that they're willing to go without.
They're giving a lot of weight to certain ideas. So much weight that it's weighing them down. They're just giving, every idea you have has a weight, has a pull. I think of an apple. I think of someone walking around naked. Oh, it has a different kind of pull. Right? Clearly, certain ideas have different kind of pull. So there's deeper ideas about self, about others, about the world, blah, blah, blah. And so some of these ideas have so much weight that it just weighs them down and they become frozen. The thing is to
Raise them down. Way down, man.
what do you give weight to? Such a huge thing in your mind. What do you give weight to?
Mm-hmm. And then how do you react to that weight? Right? Like it could be a heavy lift.
And the truth is, you shouldn't be giving a lot of weight to not to anything, but yourself. True, but something in yourself you should give a lot of weight to. The part of yourself that is peaceful, you should give weight to. Feeling. I want to feel. This gives me peace. I think of a beautiful scenery or a relationship that was rewarding or the possibility of attaining my goals, what that would feel like,
Mm-hmm.
right? Giving weight to things that actually mean something.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, people, what are they thinking about me? And I can't get out of the house because I fear a bus may run over me, or I'll have a failed relationship, so I'll just rather not explore any relationship. See, those are just ideas that I'm giving weight to.
But then some people's hearts get so broken, and they have such a horrible reaction, and they feel so betrayed that they feel like it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. I don't want love because it could end in, look at the heartbreak, look at the pain and suffering that I had to go through. I'm not willing to take the risk.
Even the way you communicate that, yeah, some people have that much weight on previous experience, as opposed to putting weight on the possibility of new experiences. And that requires choice. And that's why it's so fundamental to be in touch with that part of you that is choice making.
Yes. And know whether or not you are a pessimist or an optimist based on your natural disposition, and work more towards being more of a realist optimist, because being the pessimist is weight in and of itself. And it's usually heavier weight than the positive.
The negative is more weighty than the positive. The positive is light,
Yes.
right? The negative is heavy.
Yes.
Darkness is heavy.
However, as we see in the physical form, it's easier. You use less muscles to frown than you do to smile. It takes more effort to be happy than it does to be sad.
Yeah, it's the nature
You
of
have
the
to
world.
work at it.
Gravity just pulls us down. It's the nature of the world. It's difficult to resist that. You know, there's a force both being born and actualizing,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a heavy force of decay and death. You know, and in between there's life. In between is you. You're both actualizing, and those two forces are so profoundly epic that they create life. Birth and death create who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a choice always to, I'm going to choose the life. I'm going to choose that actualizes. I'm going to choose that blossoms,
Mm-hmm.
that flourishes. You know?
Yeah.
Choose to reinforce or put weight on things that you know are good for you.
But I think in society and culture nowadays, people don't know the answer to that question. They don't know what's good for them. They think that making less money so that they pay less taxes and get that welfare check is better than making more money, being more financially independent, and possibly having to put money out for things that you wouldn't have had to before. They're actually going like that's a common pattern right now. And it breeds that like kind of, you know, loss. I'm going to fail basically on purpose. I'm going to be a failure. I mean, not that it necessarily defines failure, but however you define failure.
Why would anyone choose that kind of thought? Why would anyone choose, I'm a failure, I'm going to fail, I'm not going to succeed?
What if they're lazy? What if they don't want to work? What if maybe laziness has been bred since they were kids? Maybe they slipped between the cracks, and maybe.
Be that as it may, in the moment of finding someone, in the moment, in the present, in the absolute present, the absolute moment, why would you choose in the now, regardless of your experiences, regardless of the trauma? Yes, it's all valid, it's all terrible, it's all horrific. But in the moment that you are in now, right now, why would you choose to think about something that lessens an experience of your greater self? Why?
I think some people don't feel that they deserve it.
They don't deserve it.
They don't deserve it.
So it's guilt that's holding them hostage.
It's guilt, and it's the notion that you're stepping out of your lane. You don't deserve that. You don't get to go there. You don't get to sit in that seat. That seat's reserved for the people that.
How terrible.
It's
To punish yourself, to hold yourself to those ideas that you are non-deserving for the rest of your life. That you're cursed, basically. That you have no redemption. You've done stuff that is not redeemable.
And I think that there are so many people that suffer from that in society, but I think that there is an equal or greater amount of people in society who suffer from the opposite. They think that they're more valuable than they actually are, and that they deserve more than they are entitled to in life. I think there's so much entitlement going around. Just massive, massive entitlement. And it's rampant. And it affects relationships in crazy ways. Crazy ways. Well, we've gone through so many really good topics. We got to get deeper into some of these topics, but we're going to save that for another episode. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, pass this along. If you like it, if you have something to say, comment. We want to hear what you have to say, and we will talk about it on the show. If it's, provocative and good. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time on an episode of Reality Squared.